It is Lord Haywire again. I am streaming Unity game creation, software development. This is the fifth part of a series that is a never-ending series. What we're doing, and it dawned on me last time I didn't explain what I was even working on. We're gonna make a 2D 4X game that's like real time, but not real time like StarCraft, real time like Crusader Kings or any Paradox game. And it's a post-apocalyptic game that takes place in North America. This is me waving at the post-apocalyptic part. Last time, someone in chat helped me do some stuff that I'd never done before, like create an array, which I feel like I should have known how to do. I read about arrays, but I was like, oh, I'll never need that shit. And then he actually somebody raided me, and I forget what his name was. Whoever raided me was like, wait, and I was trying to do something. He's like, what you need is an array, and then someone else in chat like literally helped me write it. And so that's why I keep saying we when I keep working on this. I say we are doing this because it's a community project. It's open source. I have a GitHub, and I put it in the comments, and you can in chat you can post on there. I'm gonna try to listen to music. When I program, I always listen to music. I gotta turn it down some, but I think I'll get a copyright strike if I play it. It's like punk rock stuff. Some of it. It's The Damned. Today I'm listening to The Damned. I think I'll get a copyright strike, and I don't know how that will affect everything. So I just don't want to take that chance of me getting banned or some bullshit. Anyways, so what we're going to try to concentrate on. I got totally sidetracked last time. We looked at Chat GPT, and we also tried to make outlines for these provinces. Sorry, counties is what we're calling them. We have 7 counties. They're all right here. This is Oregon and Washington. I live in Portland, so that's why it's a county. If we look at the actual game camera, it looks more like this. This garbage will not be there when we hit play. Well, actually, we can hit play. Let's do this. Let's maximize this and show what we got. See if we got any bugs. It's always a good idea to do that, at least in my brain. That's what I do every time. What do we got going here? We should be able to click on all of these and see this is owned by a player. There's a timer that counts down. These are minutes. And then it goes to hours. So you can click on your own provinces that you own, and it will tell you the population. On these ones it shouldn't, and it doesn't. And you can create an army. Let's try to create one in this enemy area. It should just, yeah, it said down here, and it says you don't own this. You can't spawn armies here. This should spawn armies. The armies are broken. I think if we move this, oh, I disabled that. Good. The armies won't move yet. And so what we want to do is, yeah, this is the name Fuckstick 1 and Fuckstick 2. Oh, Fuckstick 0 and Fuckstick 1. And we want to move these armies, but what we want them to move, we want them to move like they do in CK3, which is they don't really move. It's a trick. A timer counts down, and then when the timer's done, the animation moves them over. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna use animations, but we're gonna just go once the timer's done. It's just gonna move, and we want, so that's basically, hopefully that's what we're going to work on and finish today. It seems like I keep getting sidetracked and having to do other things, which is fine. I mean, we are moving forward. So we started this army movement script, which looks like it's empty. What we need to do, though, is look at the clock. So there's a timekeeper script that we have here that keeps track of this time up in the corner. It doesn't appear when the game's not running. And I was thinking about something. So currently, we can also control how fast the time goes, and we can pause with spacebar. What we want to do, though, I don't think we need seconds to even exist, because if we look back at when we hit play here, we're not actually we're only showing the minutes and the hours. And think about like a grand strategy game like this. We're gonna want it to be, we don't need to keep track of seconds, man. Let's say we had an army that's traveling here to Cowlitz. That's the name of this county, and that's what we called it. If we're going to here, it's not gonna take you seconds or minutes in real life to get there. It's gonna take you on foot. It's gonna take you many hours. So we can get rid of minutes. And so what we're doing here in our clock is we are seconds equals time dot fixed delta times ticks. And ticks we can adjust in the under our controller here, there should be a ticks thing. We can control this, how fast time goes, by adjusting this ticks thing, because we currently don't know. Like, as the game gets more developed, we're gonna want to adjust. You know, maybe we want time to go slower. So right now, let's hit play again here. We can adjust this on the fly. So time's going like that. Well, not when it's like this. We can't adjust it. Let's go back to focused here, and patiently wait. There's a lot of patient waiting here. You know, I'm gonna put my frame rate thing. Occasionally, Unity just grinds my frame rate. I don't know what the deal is. So, like, this is the minutes. We can slow that down by putting it at 100. See, that's slower. We can even go to 1. And now no time is going to pretty much pass because it's going so slow. Or we can speed it up. And the whole reason why we have that set where we can manually edit this right now is because we don't know how fast we want the time to go. We also can do it with this. And this is the way the player would do it. You know, we can pause it, go back to 1. We don't really know how fast we want, but these are minutes. This is probably even this is probably too slow. And this is would be the base rate. So we're at 1,000 right now. So yeah, and it is keeping track, or it's counting with seconds. So I don't think we need seconds, is what I'm saying. So what we can do is get rid of this. Yeah. Let's just comment it out for now. And let's comment this out for now. I comment out everything basically. And then before I like put it in here, we're gonna put this ticks to minutes. And we're gonna rename this thing minutes. We're actually I don't like abbreviations like this. I like everything full blown. We need this to be a float though, I think. Is why it's upset up there, down there. And that's, we actually, you know, we probably don't need this anymore. We'll comment this out. Make sure that we, and then minutes. I could have just done a thing. So we want minutes to equal times ticks. So this is going to exponent, you know, it's going to be 1 step faster. And then we want this to say minutes. And I have one more somewhere. I should have just, right down here. And then now let's see how ridiculously, so that should make it like, you know, 60 times faster or something. Not 60 times faster, possibly. Basic math is avoiding me today. I'm not sure if I should have even streamed this today because I feel like half tired. Yeah, look how fast that shit is now. So we can actually slow this down though. Even 100 is pretty fast. 10. So that's pretty good. I think that's a more legitimate. I mean, this is still slow as fuck. But I think, yeah, we might not even need to keep track of minutes. It depends how accurate we want things to be. So anyways, that was the first step, I feel like, was we got rid of the seconds because we don't need them. We probably should keep track of minutes. I mean, they aren't really minutes. They're just some arbitrary thing we're using to keep track of time. So then we also need to keep track. So we got a couple of things we got to do. We don't have any armies here because we're instantiating them. So we need to update this prefab. And I'm going to actually rename this prefab to army. And that might have broken something. It probably did break something. We'll see soon enough. So what this thing needs, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put this up here. What this thing needs, it doesn't matter where it is we need a timer, text box above it. So we're going to add a text box, 2D object, no, a UI. So this might get a little weird, actually. The issue that I think we're going to have, we'll see. So this is farther down the road. If we decide to do like a day and night cycle, sometimes canvases like this are stuck This is a screen overlay, so we probably want this to be as world space. Well, let's see. Let's see. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but when I messed around with it last time, it caused the issues with like light. Light was an issue. Can we reset this so that it goes? No. Let's go back to here. We want it to appear right above this thing. Where are you, buddy? Um. Oh, yeah. We need to put it in a world space. See, because it's way over here somewhere. Yeah. So, what did this take it to? No. Yeah, we're gonna have to do world space. And I think that's gonna be an issue in the long run. I'm almost positive it's gonna be an issue in the long run. And we can't see it right now because it's too big, I think. Or it's massive. Yeah, it's massive. It's not too big, it's too massive. Minimum. I feel like there should be a better way to do this, but if there is, somebody tell me. Let's put 1. Even 1 is too big. I'm thinking like if we put it back to. Oh yeah, I use Chat GP. I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I already did. If we use we might use Chat GPT again. It was pretty useless last time, but we might use it to ask questions to see how it does. It was pretty crappy last time, like I said. I feel like this is the wrong way to do this. Let's Google it first. Well, let's ask Chat GPT and then we'll oh, I want this to go over here. I want you guys to see what I log in. You know, Chat GPT login. We'll ask it, but it's generally it hasn't been very good. But this is a good way to test. To just ask it. Oh no, I can't. It's a capacity. That's fine. We will. Let's see. Unity best way to put text above game object. Let's see what we got here. What does this person say? What year is this from? Yeah, like this. Add a canvas to the scene and add a text element to the canvas. Set the position world screen to screen point with a vertical offset. Add a canvas to the scene. You may want a world space canvas, which allows you to place text in the world over an overlay, but you have to see if that's what you consider working. On GUI is an old way of doing it. I found this post because of the same issue, and I solved using on GUI. Just look at this code I use working. I use screen space overlay and call them below and late update only after the camera has moved. I actually have the camera script as a list of delegates. World to screen point. If screen position. I feel like that's like a lame way to do it. Maybe that's how you see. This one's from 2005. Add you. Wait, is this a different one? I ever clicked on this? Instantiate. Adding canvas to world space. The canvas is world space. Creating empty objects as a child of the character. Convert the empty to screen space with .html. What the fuck are you talking about? Set up with the pivot position at the top. He's got a little dinosaur. So you want to anchor a UI element to certain. By shrinking the canvas size to 1 and putting the canvas as a child. I mean, that's the way that I did it before. More canvases mean more draw calls, even if all the textures from both canvases are in the same Each canvas means a separate new draw call. Thanks. My name's Josh. So yeah, 100 draw worse than a refresh and ton of UI. I sent I feel like that's the way I did it in another game, was having the text attached in the world space. Components, pretty fine as a naked text is all you want. That's what it's for, but it can't. World has its benefits when you get more than one. Like, for example, a panel with a border and a background contains a name. Yeah, we might need that. All right, we'll just do the world space thing. I feel like that is a weird way to do it these days, but whatever. We'll can I reset this fucking thing again? Oh, you know why this is weird? Is because we need this canvas to be wherever. Where's the canvas? Come here, Mr. Canvas. This whole thing's the where's the edge of this giant thing? All right. Click. Oh. Because we're gonna need it tiny. And we're gonna need it tiny and above. Well, it's attached above it. You know, I vaguely remember like this causing issues, but we'll see. We need this smaller, much smaller. Do I still have this world? Yeah. We want it above the top of it. And position height 0. No, we want height 1. That seems huge, but well, that's fine. And 4. I like even numbers over here. Position 5. We actually want this to be like -5 or whoa. Okay, -1. Where'd you go? 1.5, and then position 0. That seems like a little high. 1 seems good. Let's do width 3 and height 0.5. And then I think we can reset this text so it will be in the middle. It will. We want it to fit in here though. Font size, where is this thing? Didn't I just make, oh, every time I reset it, it keeps making the size gigantic. Come back down here. I feel like this is a weird way to do it though. This is the way, like I said, I did in a different game. The game isn't done or anything, but later on, like when I put like light and dark effects, like where nighttime came, it caused like it would get dark, and I had also maybe I could just change the material on it or something. So why is this minimum is 0? Why can't I see this? There might be a sort order. We got the text. What is this position? Scale should be 0.04. Why can't I see this text? You know, every time you go back, my memory is so terrible. Every time I go back, I have to like refigure out how to do everything. I just want to see what we're putting anything in here doesn't. All right, where are you, Mr. Text? I bet you there's an order. Order in layer. I think that's a 20. What are you at? Army, you're at 20. We want this to actually be above. What is this thing at? You're at 20. The army will put it 25, and we'll put the canvas at 25. And I still can't see the text though. Where? Oh, I don't have anything in here. All right, let's put this gonna be, this is timer. We'll center it. And let's look at the game here. That still seems like a bit high. We'll leave it there though. We'll see how it looks once we get a time in there. And we'll center that thing. I don't think we need any extra settings for that. So now we have a text box. I think it's tempting to get rid of this canvas, but I think we'll leave this canvas here and we'll rename this. Army for now. Army timer canvas. Yeah, for now we'll leave it as that. We might, because we might add other stuff here. You know, icons like whatever. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you know, maybe if it's an archer unit or something, we'll do an archer unit. Then we need to push this stuff. What? I wanna add this to my prefab. Why doesn't it? It's changed since I last. I would like you to apply all. There we go. All right. So our prefab has the timer thing on it. This should. Let's open this guy up and make sure. Yeah, it does. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I've used a bunch of prefabs in the past, but they still stress me out because sometimes they're like, no, this didn't work. And anyways, we'll delete this out of here. And back to our scripts. So we have the timer here. We need this time. I do everything in very small baby steps. So now we want this time. I'm just gonna put like this time, like the time that's counting up to appear in that timer. And so I started this army movement thing that is empty. This script is gonna need to be attached to the prefab. I'm thinking here, do we need it attached to the prefab? That's probably the easiest option, is to attach this to the prefab. And if we put it at the top, at the very top of the parent thing, like right here, I'm gonna put this back up here actually. If we put it right here, we want this. It's gonna be the grandchild to get to that text thing. So let's do this. We're going to need a private text GUI text mesh pro UGUI called army timer. I don't know why I keep putting a thing on the end, an E on the end of timer. And then on awake, when this thing awakes, we're going to need it to be, and I can't remember, I can't remember anything. So basically, if I know I've done something, I find that and just copy it and paste the code, which is right here. This is close enough. Get child, get child. We're gonna want this army timer. Actually, army timer equals, we don't want this shit. This. Okay, we don't need this. I feel like we do. 0. What's your problem? Dot text. Oh wait. It's not a game object that we want down here. Actually, we just want. No, I think we are gonna have to make this a game object. Let's see what options it gives us. Get component. Man, my brain does not work, and I gotta like warm it up. I want this to be. It's not a component though. I mean, it's just a thing. I guess it is a component. Uh, All right. Well, there we go. So in Awake, it will get that component, the child component, and then you know what I like to do sometimes is what? Why are you there? Debug. Uh, whoops, I need quotes in here. Is just put this in here just to see what it plops out, and we can test this pretty easy. I test like constantly. I don't know if that's. I feel like that's what everyone does, but just in case, just constantly test. And what we need it to do is when we instantiate. Oh, we're zoomed out a little bit here. It should put in the console. Oh, we never attached that script to anything. That would be required. Uh, Army movement. We want it to be right here. There we go. And then we will apply all of those changes to the prefab. We can just leave this thing sitting here. We're not actually using it yet, but I'm going to leave it there temporarily. And we'll delete it later. We'll create this, and now it should have, yeah, so it does, like Visual Studio or whatever the fuck I'm using, it will air out, it'll give you the red lines of death there, but I still like to um, double check. Just, I don't know. I just like to double check everything because I'm such a noob. I'm sure people are more confident than me. But, anyways, so the first thing we're going to do, because we want this actually to be turned off. What happens if we turn this off and leave the canvas open? What does it look like on the game? It seems fine. Is that bad though? I've heard different things. Let's leave that off. So I heard that this is really processor intensive to be turning on and off, setting on and off uh, game objects. I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, it's not. So we would need a game object. So we're gonna do a game object anyways. So we'll just do this. We got to have another game object. I like to put everything in order as how they are in the inspector. Uh, what's object? Object. Well, you need to put something in here, buddy. I don't know. This is a new thing that I've started to do is forget to put in the things. And I actually want this to be called text. I like to overly label my shit. We will, so you know what we could do actually is we could say army. No, this is not a, we want this to say army timer canvas. Army timer canvas. I like my, oh, what happened over here? I like my variable names to be 6,000 characters long, if possible. So this will be transform.getChild. Give me get child 0 and dot game objects. So now we have a game object that's this thing over here. We have this thing here. We could we could just get rid of this and put army timer right here. Oh, I guess we can't. Oh, we would have to put in like the transform and all that. This is fine. I'm going to put a little comment in here what the fuck I'm doing because I'm going to forget. Activated. Like later, I won't remember what this is. And I'll be like, why? What am I doing here? Can put the countdown timer in the text. All right, we got that. Well, I guess that's pretty obvious, but who knows? Maybe I'll need it later. So we got these two things. These actually are going to need to be public because we're going to be calling them from the timekeeper. Actually, maybe we can just make a function. We'll make a function that calls it. And like, when it gets, I don't know, we'll think about that. So first thing we want to do though is be able to turn this on and on. Well, we have the stuff we need. So let's go back to, well, let's save this. So how do we want this to work? When you click on the thing, come back here. Oh, we'll get rid of this. We'll just turn it off temporarily. So much waiting. Okay, so you click here, you create your army, you left click on the army, and so it's been activated. Then you're gonna right click on a province. So if we go to, there's like kind of like a lot of intertwined scripts, which I'm not a big fan of actually. I keep calling them province, but we actually rename them to counties. So on right click of the select county, it asks, is the army selected? Which it is, the army is selected, but we actually should put that in the list, I think. So if we go back to this army, is army selected? Is actually, we already did this last time, I guess. I think I was working on this when I got sidetracked with the array, and thank you to Chad again for all the help last time for my array stuff, for our array stuff. So we have the army needs to, is army selected? So we actually, because we're going to be able to do multiple armies. This, so select province, or select county. We're going to need, I guess right now we'll leave it this way, just so we can get the basics working. So is the army selected equals true? We need the name that it's right clicked on, of the province that it's right clicked on, and we kind of changed everything. So I'm just gonna debug log just to get my memory going here. Of right clicked county. All right, let's see if this works. Like, I have to baby step my way in back to what I was doing. My memory is so fucking terrible. Create the army. Click, oh, the timer's still up. That's okay for this thing. Tillamook, that is Tillamook. Portland. Wasco. All right, so that works. We know where it's gonna go now. Man, my brain is like totally not. It's already been 30 minutes. I haven't even. I've like typed like six letters. Okay, well I guess we did that. Let's fix it. Let's turn off my prefab isn't set up. Can I push this? Apply all. There we go. Okay, so we right click on where we want it to go, but that also is going to start a timer. So this needs to interact with army movement where the timer will be sitting, I believe. Army movement is attached to the actual game object. So we need to have a function in here. Public static, is it static? Public, let's try it without static. It will tell us if it's wrong. We want start time, oh, these should be all caps. Start army timer. And I feel like we should probably send something to it, like the name of the army or some shit. What's your problem? Oh, we need a void in here. We need a void. And I'm just gonna debug log this, man. I gotta get back in the rhythm of things. I don't know how people do this shit for a living. I'd be so burned. My brain would be so burned out. Activated has been funked. Has been fucking something. All right. I like to cuss in my code. I'm gonna move this over to here. These three are we're gonna be using a lot. So army movement. I don't think we need an instance of this. Start. Yeah, it needs to be public static or something. Public static void. 'Cause otherwise it's not gonna show over here. We might have to do an instance of it. All right. Attempt number 2. Not attempt. Everything's working as we go. I'm not confident at all today. At least it's not doing the weird thing. It used to be every time for like a day, every time I did, it recompiled that. Oh, we fucked something up here. We changed the prefab wrong. We want this to be on, this to be off, and then, yeah, when this comes out, there we go. It's kind of weird that you like work on your prefabs in the scene. I guess that there's no other way to do it. Then we'll right click here. Start timer. Start army timer has been fucking something. All right, that's what we wanted to see. No problem so far. So what we want this to do though is reference something in here to where we want it to reference this actually. So we are gonna have to make this. We made this all private because I make everything private to start, and then when it's needed, I slowly unprivate it, unless I'm positive it's going to be needed somewhere else. So we can make that a public static, the hours, because so like I said, we have like 3 intertwining scripts, and I actually don't like that. There's probably a better way to do it. If you know how, tell me. So that the issue is with all these intertwining scripts is that as time passes, they become more and more cumbersome. And there's probably a way better way to do this. And so last time, like I was saying, they helped me out with the array. They basically just said like, hey, look, there's a way better way to do this. And that's why I keep saying we, is because I know people are going to tell me like, hey, there's a way better way to do this. And so I'm welcome to constructive criticism. But so we're going to need to access the hours from army movement, the static, and so we're going to need to access 2 things here actually. We're going to, first off, when this runs, we're going to turn on the timer. We're going to army canvas timer, army timer canvas. What's your problem? Army timer can't. Why aren't you auto? Game object set active true. We want this thing to turn on. What's your problem here? Because it's private, I can't access it? Oh, it's because this is a public static. Fine. There we go. Son of a bitch. So that will turn that on. The text is already on, right? In my prefab. The text should be on. It is. Okay. This give me some error. Let's clear that. It didn't recompile. It does this every once in a blue moon. Because this This isn't actually an error. It just needs to fucking recompile. I guess I have to save it. That's my problem. I should have had like some cocaine or something before I started. Okay, so that's going to have to be set active. Then we're going to put... Now, if we run this once, it's just going to put... I'm thinking. I'm in deep thought. Okay, well, this needs to be here. Army. This needs to be publics and static as well. Army timer text dot text equals what did we make that? Timekeeper dot hours dot text. No, hours to string. So the thing I think is going to happen is that this is going to run once, and this is just going to sit here and do nothing. So there's another way we can fix that though. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. This is gonna run once. It's gonna tell us the hours, which should match. So part of this is accuracy. I don't, you've ran in. Everyone here has ran into is a gamer or has ran into gamers. So when we right click here, that should turn up. Yeah. So it put. I can't zoom. I guess I can zoom in. It looks like pixelated garbage because we're not zooming in the right way. It's just putting the time there. The time of when you click. And it actually doesn't know if I'm clicking on the right spot or whatnot. So if we look at this, when I click, this is happening so fast we can't even. Let's turn down the speed. Under the controller, what do we got at 500? Let's go to 1. No, that's too slow. Let's go to 10. And then we'll be able to see the minutes go by faster. Oh wait, we're taking in hours though. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, we're taking in hours. So this should be 0, honestly. Yeah, that's 0. Now it should be 1. Okay. So we're getting the right number. Maybe we should be putting minutes in here though. Minutes and hours. Oh yeah, I was gonna try to stop saying so much. Let's make this a public static float. Right now, we're only going to use, once we get the test, once we get everything set up right, we're going to do things slightly different. I would like this. We're not using days, though. Days. Oh, I see what we did here. I'm going to put a little thing here. A little thing being a comment. Hours and minutes. We're just manually sticking days in there. And we don't need that for this. But what we can do for this is get rid of the... will this work? We don't need this days shit. This is time. Timekeeper. And time keeper. This shit can go away. So this should now put in, I think that starts at 1. Let's make sure. Well, I mean, we don't have to make it all pretty right now. I guess I just am in the feel for some prettiness. I'm waiting for an hour to pass. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking though. I think we should pass these over to new variables. And the variables, what we should do is say, I'm thinking, but yeah, we'll pass these over. I guess they have to be public variables. Static. What is that? One is they're both floats. No, one's a float and one's an int. Public static int local minutes public static float or int local hours. I think this will make sense. So whoa, oh wait, I'm doing this wrong. No, actually I'm not doing it wrong. What we can do is every time this gets updated, we'll tell it to update. So instead of putting this in update, I just learned how to do this the other day too. I learned so much, just so I'm the type of person that I have to learn by doing, not reading. I can read and get like some basic stuff, but I can't figure it out 100%. So we got to do a getter setter here, I think will be what we want. And we'll put this as local. Let's double check. So in awake, no, in here, no, that's still not going to work. Can we make a getter setter? It's still only going to happen once. Unless we make the getter setter thing over here. Which it seems weird. We could. How do we know what one to update though? Maybe I'm thinking this is making this too complicated. So it's going to run. There is a way to do it with a coroutine, but I don't know how. I don't know if that's. We want it to this is the thing. We want it to match the timekeeping thing, because if it's off by like even a little bit, I have a feeling people will notice. So that's why we're going about this way, is we're trying to make it match. We could do a coroutine. How did I ChatGPT actually told me how to do it. It's very popular right now because we want it to run. And I could do like a while statement, but the problem with while statements is I never can get them to work. They always crash my shit. I get a Stack Overflow or whatever. Because I like, while something's yes, it never turns off. So let me think here. Or we could run this. There's another way that we can do this. It's gonna be a lame way to do it. We would put a variable in here and put this in update. I mean, that's the lazy way to, that's the, not lazy, it's the easy way to do it, but I think it's probably the wrong way. We'll just say public static start timer. We probably need to put what this is. I don't know why I started doing that. We just want a bool there. And then on here, we would just say start timer equals true. And then an update, we would put if equal to true. I always have to like say it out loud. It's equal to true. It's not equal to true. And then we would do this stuff. We would do start timer. We probably want to rename this to army timer. What do we got? Army movement. Army. See, there's got to be a better way to do this, though. I feel like this is like the shitty way. Now let's see what that does, though. I feel like, so this is my goal always. Never have anything in update if possible. Let's see what this does. There's probably we probably fucked something up. Create army. Select the army. Right click. Yeah, see, it's updating, and it should be. It's gonna be hard to tell exactly on. I mean, that is the easiest way to do it. Uh, it's by far the easiest way to do it. How do you do it? I feel like this is a perfect thing for a while statement, but I don't know how to do it. Someone tell me how to do this. Whoever sees this, someone. I feel like there's a better way to do this. We'll leave it like this and we'll make it work. But we need this to count down though, not count up. So we're gonna go back to the timekeeper here because we want it to like be, after 5 minutes it moves, even though it won't be 5 minutes. It would be 5 hours or 2 weeks. How long would it take you to walk from one state to another U.S. state? So what we're gonna do here, but we want it to keep the keep. We want them to be perfectly lined up. Is basically what we're doing here. So we need like a 5 minute thing. Well, how fast was that going? I feel like that was pretty fast. Let's see how, maybe we need like a 5 hour thing. I hate when YouTube asks you if you're still watching. I use YouTube for music. Yeah, so the minutes, even at 10, the minutes fly by. So we'll do, because we can speed this up. Yeah, we'll do 5 hours. We want 5 hours to go by. And we need it to count down. But we want it all in here. So let's put it at the bottom though. What is this debug log? We don't need this shit anymore. We'll put countdown. I'm just out of curiosity. What happens if we do 2 different armies? Let's break shit. Will they both start counting up? That's what we want, because this is attached to 2 different things. It should work, right? Create army. You can start going there. Create army. Oh, one stopped. Huh. Do this again. Did it stop while... So I've clicked away. So then when I start this one stops. They're different scripts. Are they different scripts? Each one should have... its own... Each should have its own thing, because they're the army timer is attached to the game object, but maybe so I don't quite understand instances still. So maybe that's the issue, is that like this needs to have an instance of itself running. I don't know how the fuck that works. Why would it stop? If start timer, so we don't mess with that. Select county. Army timer, so I think I need an instance. I think that's what it. Like I said, I've never used an instance before. How do I assign that to it? I mean, I've used instance is before because like that's the only way I can get the code to work, but I don't understand it. So let's see. Because this is, well, if it's already true, it's gonna say it's already true. I mean, that wouldn't affect that. Um, no army is selected. What did the console say? No army is selected. I don't remember doing accidentally. Let's make sure. I should probably stop thinking about this with two and just do one to start with. Create army. Select it. Right click. The timer's going. Select here. Create army. The thing is, the thing starts with its little thing open as well. Is this something to do with when I'm creating it, I think? Let's see. We need to clean this up too. Uh, this should be putting it into a list, which it is. All right, so go back to this list. I think we have to fix this thing, this army list. Sorry, not that. Select. This needs to apply to. Let's fix that. Maybe that will just work its way out on in the grand scheme of things. So what we also need. So this is not going to be used anymore. Uh, what we're also going to need is how we get the name of the. So we're going to click on army movement. Sorry, no, we're going to click on select army because we have to select the army first. The army name is named. Oh, look, this we broke that too, which is good. We want that because we're going to change this to world map load dot. Whoops. What did I call it? Armies name dot name. No, not dot name. Dot is army selected equals true. What's your problem here, buddy? Uh, uh mm, int dot parse. Okay, so how this is gonna work is it's going to. I don't know why, but I hate this. I hate when it does that. Uh, so in the armies list, it's gonna get the name because when we hit start, it should. I gotta go through everything in my brain to make sure. I'm gonna take a break after we test this here. So if we hit this, we hit create army. Under armies, yeah, so army 0, and we didn't get any bugs. Army 0, 2, we rolled a 2 there. And then we click that. That's gonna change just on that list, this army that's selected. Okay. All right, so that works. I'm gonna take a quick break. Let me put up my break timer. And there's my break timer, and I'll be right back. All right. Let's see. Turn off the break timer. Well, turn on the music first. Turn off the break timer. And so what we need, what we're gonna need here is on this select army, we need a public static. Man. Army currently, whoops, this is a bool. No, this is a string. This is an int. Currently selected army name, my never-ending. You know, we will make this a string, even though it's an int that we're getting. When you click on this, we need this to be also with the same equals name. And then over here, this is gonna be a long variable. This is going to be world map load dot armies dot currently selected province. No, army. Oh, we need this to be in select army currently. Look at that big long thing. We need to parse this fucking thing though. See, that's why I was thinking about making it an int, was parse it on the other side. Parse. And then, what's your problem? Dot is currently selected. Uh-oh. This is back to this question I had last stream where, like, are you supposed to put this all into one variable? You know, like, call it, like, is army selected equals this thing. Equals true. So it's going to turn that to, if that's true, and it should match up now, it's going to start the timer. Let's save that and see what kind of shit we've created here. Once again, all these scripts are going to be all intertwined. I don't know why I don't like that so much, but you just got to do it, I think. We'll create an army. We'll select. We still haven't got any bugs. We'll right click. That's going to turn that thing on. Okay, that still stops it. And this one comes out. These are different names. Flicking back and forth doesn't do anything. Okay, why does that stop the one and the other one comes out? It has, we must be instantiating it wrong. Create army. Owner name, so it's so this is just so we can only create it in our own provinces. Only create the army in our own province, or sorry, we're calling them counties now. Counties. And this is creating a new army, which is this. It adds all this stuff up. And this is just random bullshit. This is null, false. So this is the is army selected thing. And we instantiate. And new army, we change its name. We don't need this crap in here anymore. A lot of this stuff we messed with a bunch last time, so we can get rid of these comments. This I want here because I want this comment to be there. We don't need this anymore. Cleaning up code is always fun. Change the info panel, number of armies we don't need anymore. That was like one of the things that I was helped with last time, like to not have that thing count like that because it leads to errors. So the game object is it's added to the list. And the list, I mean, we could debug log right here just to make sure. I don't think it's going to tell us, though, what we want to know. I think it's going to just say, like, well, let's see what happens. What do you want? Patience. I think we, like I said, I think we have some sort of army clone. But why does that stop counting when this thing goes on? I think it maybe, well, let's try. Let's figure, my hypothesis is we're using army script and time. Where'd that go? Wait, where the fuck did that go? Army movement. Wait. So let's do this. Whoops. This here is the army text. The other army text stops updating. It could be. I think we need an instantiation, which once again, not instantiation, an instance, which I've never. So let's like, if this is what it is, then now I'll understand instances better. Okay, so from here, I think we need this to be an instance. We need an instance of this to start. So how do we fucking do that? We need. Let's start this. It's going to be a private. What was this game object or army movement? A private army movement called army movement, and then somehow we have to assign that. How the fuck do we do that? Because army movement doesn't exist when select county is when select county. I guess we could make it happen right here. That feels clunky as shit, though. When you right click, I'm going down some weird path here. When you right click, it could assign this, but we would need to know. Well, there is an easy way to do this, I guess. Is here No, it's not here. It's under create army. Let's move create our army over here. And we need army to come over here too. We can put it in here. Like, then army. Then over here, I like to put all the game objects and shit over here, or at the top. I don't know why. So that's there. When you create the army, this will be null. Oh, put it in the wrong order. This will be null. Then when it gets assigned, so you instantiate the fucking thing. This moves it to the list. Change the army info panel. So before that, we want assign army movement script to list. And then we would go with new army dot army movement equals this dot get component army movement. This seems like a fucking clusterfuck, but no, we don't need this. So now we have this assigned, this list, this could be like, I could just be, this like might work, but I might also be like going down some crazy path of stupidity here. Currently selected army, and then we would go to here, and we would do, you know what we can do here is, no, we need that. This is going to be dot armies select arm. Goddamn. We gotta parse this shit too. It's right here. It's right here. And our, what do we call it? Our army movement. This is I'm doing something wrong. We need another. No, we don't need that. We need this. We're missing this thing. Army movement. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna put this on my clipboard and go back. Now I'm so confused because I just confused myself. Go back. Start timer equals true. Okay, I see what I need to do here. Dot start timer. Oh, that didn't work. Hmm. Maybe I need to do it like equals this thing. And then I cannot be accessed with an instance. What is a potential fix? Wait, how would that help me? It's like just get rid of that. All right, I'm gone. I've gone down a path that doesn't make any sense. I gotta think about this for a second. I don't think putting that script in there does what I think it does. So it's another way I can do this here. This doesn't work. And this doesn't work. And this doesn't work. Maybe it's a different reason why it's doing that. I'm gonna go back over to here and put a note on this. This is needed. I just put notes in like that so later on I can be like, what the fuck is this? And then I can go through and figure it out. Okay, so let's go back to thinking about this bug here. Why does it stop? You know, there's a way to check this. There's a way to figure this out. We put in to update, we say timer test. And so it should just blast the name of the in the debug log. We should get blasted with the name of the army. I gotta get rid of this one. Oh, it didn't put. Oh, that's the name of that army. I was like, wait, what? Okay. So then do they keep coming? They do keep coming. So they're both active, but this one stops. I'm missing something like basic. And this is so I always tell this story. The first time I tried to get like escape to work as a key, it took me 6 hours because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So each time you like encounter shit like this, uh, each time you encounter shit like this, you get you learn more, and then the next time you run into a bug, it takes you less time to fix it. All right, so they're both active. We got some sort of error here. Was that bug happening before? How many times did it do it? Just once? Wait, did that happen every time we were doing that? And I just didn't notice it? Because that could be our whole issue right there. Value cannot be null. Oh, no? I think that's because we put in that. I don't know where that value cannot be null happened. It's gone now. Okay, so once again, why does that stop updating? Maybe we have to do like a coroutine. All right, so that's set it. So when the army time start timer equals true, the army timer starts running, and the text is updated, which the text is this text. Does something change the start timer to false? I mean, we're not telling it to. But maybe when you switch over, it's saying like, hey, this is false, because it would be, the other one would be false. I gotta hit play. Trying to think of my other game if I ran in. I didn't run into this issue, but I was doing things slightly differently. Oh, I know how to get that bug. It's still set to true. I know how to get that bug. This is upset when I right click on something that doesn't exist. We'll fix that in a second. I think, okay, let me think about this. On left, on select army, where did you go? Left click. So when you're clicking on, all right, so you click on the other one. So you have one army selected, and you click on a different one. This, you know what this might be? The issue, I think I found the issue. It's because this is a public static, I think. And it's under army movement. So these are like the same variables no matter what. No matter which one. Okay, so I think we were kind of on the right path. Let's go back to army. And we'll leave that in there. You know what I'm also going to do so I don't forget that other thing? Where's my... I don't have it open. GitHub. Um, this is. Do we still have that bug over here? We do. I don't even know how to describe this. If you right click on a province without selecting an army, you get a bug. Convert to issue. We're gonna move this up here. This is gonna be right after we fix this timer. We should actually let's put army timer in here. I like things I can check off my list that I've accomplished. I know I've mentioned that in many a stream here. This is our top item. This one's actually, that's a different thing. And we're going to do this today too. We already cleaned up some of it, but I figured out another way to do this. I was messing around with my other perm. Okay, so what the fuck was I doing? I got sidetracked and then I got, this is going to be a bool. And we're going to call it army timer. And we need it to be here. You know, while I'm fucking with this, I'm just gonna comment this out and get rid of this crap. I don't think we need this. You know, I actually want this to be underneath here too, I think. I think we want it that way. We don't want that called that either. Cut. Well, I'm trying to get that comma in there. Paste, comma, little in. Get rid of this space. This crap can go. Well, we'll just get rid of this whole thing. Since we're going crazy here. Army timer equals new army timer. I think this is the issue. Part of the issue. I think we have a bunch of issues. Oh wait, it was called start timer. Jesus Christ. Go back to here. This should be called start timer. And then we're going to change this to start timer as well. And here we go. Now we can get rid of this. So I think this is the issue because that's a public static bool. And we're accessing it with army movement. I think they're intertwining and fucking shit up. I think that's actually no, it is because in this is the same issue here too. Is we're so on Awake, it's reassigning this stuff. This is actually the first time I've ever had a public static bool fuck shit up, but I've always knew I've been waiting for it to happen. Yeah, so I think this is the issue. So on Awake, we instantiate that new army. Yeah, this is, I'm almost positive at this point. Of course, you know, we'll fuck with it for another hour and then it won't be this, but we'll have a really interesting list. So I think that's what happens. So the new one wakes up, bam, this equals this and this equals this. It's still running this shit down here. And it's like, hey, well, this is that now. So you got to use this. That's totally what it is. And we can fix that. We can, but let's, okay, we need to fix this all. We're going to add this to the list as well. Let's copy that over here. I wish you guys could hear what I was listening to. I'm listening to the yeah yeahs now. Like I need like the music to like while I'm like thinking. I always want to sing along when I'm not streaming. I sing along. You guys don't want to hear me do that though. Okay, so we got yeah, and then when it awakes, we'll assign it it's to its own list. Okay, I think that's totally what we're doing wrong here. So this is gonna be. We're gonna fuck everything up here. If we're fucking shit up, let's fuck everything up. I like all the game objects to be at the top. Uh, so this should now be. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful. Army timer text. And this is getting ugly. This is getting too long. So we'll put it like that. And then down here, we need another. And then here, where'd my transform go? Oh, it's there. And then we want our text mesh. Uh, timer. What did I call it? Oh, I called it the same thing. Okay, so now we should get well, when this thing clears up, it's gonna be like, what? And this is what we need to fix. So this should be the game object should be null. The next game object should be null. The transform 1, 2, 3 null. Then we need another null in here. And so that now we're to the text mesh pro, and then we need 2 bools that are false. And I think that does it. That does that trick. We don't have this component anymore. We don't need this shit anymore. We just need unique variables, which they won't be anything. So when does this open up? Create army causes this thing to happen. But this create army button is we need to assign it here basically. Move object. I want to do it before. No, we'll do it after we move the object. New army. How do we do this? So it already knows which one it's creating, but how do we assign this? It's not a script. How do we assign the variable in this script to it? So let's think here. So the first thing we have is, what is this under? Army movement? Yeah, those are going to go away. So under army movement, where we create army. Army, yeah, this isn't going to work. Because it's not an instance, though. Can we do this? Oh, wait. I'm in the wrong spot here. First, we got to put in new army timer game object canvas. Is that what we're doing? Yes. And then we have this to say equals what? It can't be this because this is, but it is a unit prefab. Our unit prefab is in here, um, which is this first. Oh, no, the game object's null. No, here it is. The game object is here. It's equal to new army game object. No, no. Game object get child. Didn't like that. Because we need to have transform in here. No. Why don't you like this? No, it has to have transform in here. New army game object dot, but I can't transform. Did I spell transform wrong? No. Can I implicitly convert to a game object? This is a game object. Get child dot game object. Oh. It's like these always, sometimes these get really long too. They're like, new get transformed child game object child, and anyways. Okay, so we have this. Let's double check that that's how this looks. Yeah. So this is one. Okay, so let's go back through our logic here. We have this list that gets added in here. The first thing in the list is the game object that we instantiate here. Then later down the ways, we're in this list. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Later in this, no, it is. No, it is not wrong. New army is this. I'm going to rename this. New army list, because we're creating this list. We add this game object that we instantiate to the list. Then underneath this list, we're assigning the canvas, which is right there. And then we also need to assign the Text Mesh Pro. So to do that, that is just another. It's gonna be very similar to this. New army list dot text. Get up here. Equals game object dot transform dot get child. Shut up. 0 dot get child 0. This is like get the, because we want the grandchild, and we're gonna say text. No, is it a game object? No, it's a component. Remember we can do Jesus Christ, this is out of control. Maybe we could have done get component in children. That's the only component. Maybe we can try. Let's try it. I'm gonna copy this. Put that there. Oh, I hear a cat meowing. Get component in children. No, it doesn't like that. All right, we'll just put it back. I'll go back to here. We know that this is where, well, we don't know shit. Okay, so now those are like separated apart. And we have start timer in here. Right? New start timer, yep. So then we go back to army movement. And we say this is attached to this to the actual game object. So we can say armies. Oh wait, we need world load, world map load, armies, int.parse dot name dot start. What's your problem? Oh God, Kitty, come on. Timer. Is it like that? No. I have to let this cat out. Man, that was 45 minutes of me just thinking. No, I'm doing something wrong here. This needs to be here. All right, let me let this cat out. It only takes 2 seconds. Okay. The cat got, there was a dog outside and the cat got scared. This is going to be the same thing here. Why don't you like name? It's the name of this object. This doesn't need to be public, does it? Maybe that was another issue we had right there. Okay, so then where's this thing happening? We want there's a lot of changes we're doing here. I have a feeling that we might get a lot of bugs because of all these changes. Army, and then we need these to also. This doesn't need to be here anymore. We're assigning that shit when it gets instantiated. It's funny, this is exactly how my other game went. I just like my list started to blow up with stuff just like this. This though we need name. We're missing something here. A period probably. And then this is going to be the same thing. Name. For a second, I was getting confused and not sure I was doing this right. All right, now let's see the bugs. It's thinking. It's compiling. While it's thinking, let me pull up my frame thing. Nope. Let's see the bugs. None yet. We fixed it. We did it. It was just that stupid public static thing. Here, I'm going to put this on maximize so it's easier to see here. Maximize. We've done it though. We have two different timers that are counting up. We want it to actually count down though, because you want to have it. All right, so we got one. I misclicked. There we go. We right click, that starts create army. This is still going. We can zoom in a little bit here so it's easier to see over there. And then we click on this thing. And currently it doesn't care where I click. It's hard for me to tell, but these should be changing exactly at the same time too. All right, so that only took us like 2 hours, an hour and a half or something. What is this shit? Get this shit out of here. We don't need this shit here anymore. Okay, we don't need any of this stuff anymore. Now, I think local minutes, local hours. I don't think we need this either. I was trying to think. There's probably like if someone knows. Once again, this is I hate this. If you know how to fix this and update, tell me. Now we're gonna have two things that are in update that it's constantly checking for every. Oh, this should probably be fixed update. That's checking for every frame to run the army timer. And so as we, that's only with two armies. What happens if you have 10? Every frame it's going to be checking to see if start timer has changed. And I think that's a bad way to do this. We could use a getter setter thing. But I don't know how. I don't know how that would work. We could have it check every second. That's what ChatGPT recommended. Let's Google it and see what happens. Let's see what we get brought up. What gets brought up here? Replace if in update. Watch a value change without update. Yeah, so this is a getter setter. If value is, it will only do something once though. I've heard of getter, but never used them. Let's see. I think what does this person say? Oh, there's no answer. There's got two if statements and up now. Where do you think that these parameters would come from? What year is this? Oh, we're back in 2006. Or no, that's guy joined in 2006. You can make a public bool next to your public whatever. This can be checked, unchecked in the inspector, and also be affected by the. So the way you would change the value depends on. I have another script that tells the other script the value. I know that the method works because but I don't. It doesn't work with the update function. You shouldn't call update from player movement. Let the engine handle it for you. It's called by the unit of each frame and adds load. Yeah, see, this is what I'm trying to avoid. Where you have a single manager class calling updates, which are explicitly not update, but some other. This doesn't mean shit to me. Finding change in variables between updates. Nobody answered. Oh, wait. I'd like to work out the change in a variable from the last update, so we can try to look at GP. Oh, I gotta put it over here. We can try. And then let me log in. Let's see what it says. It's more like an interesting reference. Hang tight as we scale our systems. I think I asked this question. What does this one say? Get this shit off my thing. So no, that's a different one. New chats. I want to replace a bool if statement in update so it isn't called every frame, but is still checked regularly. We gotta be patient. Sometimes just reading these things puts me in the right thing to Google, because you gotta Google the right thing. Here's one way you can do this. Create a variable called last check time, initialize it to the current time. In your update function, check if the current time is greater than last check time plus some interval that you choose. For example, if you want to check the condition every 5 seconds, you would inside the if statement set last check time to the current time so that the next check will happen after the correct intervals. Perform the check that you would have performed in the if statement. This way the condition will be checked every update is called, but the actual check will only be performed every 5 seconds or whatever interval you choose. Float current time equals get current time. If get current time, what is this? What? Get current time is a function, but there's no function. If is better. So I think I enter. That's still in the. Okay, I understand what it's saying. I'm thinking. Um, if I'm just sitting here in silence, it's not because I'm spacing. Well, I could be spacing out, but I'm also. Okay, so basically, I think what we want to do is in the timekeeper. I mean, So in my brain, it's like it's still calling it all the fucking time, but it's not calling it every frame. Every frame is what it like. So fixed delta is 0.02 seconds. So you could put a getter setter in minutes over here is what I'm thinking. Let's see, a getter setter. So how am I currently doing this? I'm gonna go smoke in a second. I cannot believe another hour's already passed. This is the like programming is such a time suck, but like I said, I can't believe people, can work 40 hours a week doing like you would. I feel like you'd be so burned out and your code would just progressively go downhill. Seems like this should be a 20-hour a week thing. Okay, so let me think about this. We could do it with the getter setter. Where am I currently getting this information? Uh, Start timer is okay. We're pulling it from here. What we would probably want to do. Okay, I want to go smoke real quick. I think this is what we'll do. We'll take it out of. It will be an update. We'll kind of do with like what it said. Um, yeah, we'll basically do what it said, but written like a human wrote it instead of some, if we'll have to do like a float like this, and then the interval will be minutes. So how fast are our minutes running though? I think they're running really fast. I think it's at 10. Let's look here, and I'm still zoomed way the fuck in. Uh, we need to be not in maximized here. We want focused. Yeah, those are minutes right there. Those fuckers fly by, but not so fast. Actually, I think they are flying by so fast that it's like sometimes you can't even see it like count. But all right, I'm gonna take a quick break. But I think we're gonna actually use with the GPT chat. We'll try it. Like I was very unsuccessful with it last time, but checking like once a minute, which is more like once a second, is much better than checking every frame. I feel like. Anyways, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Let me turn off my break timer. Okay, we're gonna do we're gonna do a getter setter here. No, we're not. um, I was first like, could we do a getter setter? Like, so if it every time hours, minutes ticks up one, we could say do this over here. We could. Actually, we could. But this has to be back to public. Does that matter? These are confused now. We could go back to awake though and just public. Oh no, that's gonna be the same issue though, I think. What's the name? It seems weird that it needs this to be a public, because we could just tell it, every time the minute changes, run this thing, run the army timer. I guess we'll try it. We'll see what happens. I think this is gonna fuck shit up. Uh, string, uh, game, object, ob. Suddenly I can't spell object. Object, object, name. Jesus Christ. And then on awake, no. Equals name. And then if we change, I feel like this is not going to work, but we'll see. And then same with here. Let's not add anything more. Let's just see what happens here. I feel like that we just fucked it all up. Because those are public static things again, and we need to get away from those, but we can't. For the name, we have to. That's where we're getting all of our information from. Basically, is the name. Create army. Select the army. Right click the army. Not in the correct formats. This isn't. We need this to be. Wait, maybe we're looking at the wrong. I just assumed that was it. We can make this an int actually, and then parse it here. I don't think this is going to solve our issue though. Uh, but let's see. System bool overflow, huh? Yeah, it's the same issue. I don't know why. We don't need this. We don't need any of that crap. We need. Where was that? Select. Currently selected army. Inst.parse. I think that was starting. Army timer shouldn't start until later. Oh, I guess we need this whole thing. It shouldn't kick in till later. Not when we, whoops, not when we turn on, well, not when we spawn it. It shouldn't start when we spawn it, unless we were getting the bugs earlier, and I didn't notice. When we spawn the thing, it shouldn't have any. So currently, this is still the currently selected thing. Spawning that doesn't do shit. Now this should be the new currently. Oh, whoa! It kicked in. Timers in. It's false though. Okay, that fucked everything up. When we, yeah. What the fuck did we have it at it before? How did we have this before? Go all the way back here, buddy. You fucked it all up. Everything was fine. Now, before this, it was when I made that a public. Yeah, okay. So it was when I made this a public void, public static, it is when it. I don't think I can call it. So I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna double check that we don't have this issue happening, and I just didn't notice it. It happens. You focus in on stuff, and it just fucks life up. Okay, no, so that's fine. Um. So on the timer is what we're trying to change here. We can't do that. We can't do army movement. What was this thing called? Army timer. So what I was trying to do is have it from the army. Let me think here. Every time a minute changed, I wanted it to tell the army movement to start counting the army timer. I don't think I can do that though because it doesn't even know if this exists until after. Like it would be trying to do that every time, a minute passed, even if you don't have any armies going. So I think we got to do it the other way that kind of this thing was talking about, this chat. We need, I don't know why they use a float. what we need to do here, instead of having an update every frame, what we need to do is instead comment this shit out. I think what we can do is we'll need a variable. We aren't even using these yet, so let's comment these out as well. That's my idea for the next step of this project. Man, we didn't even get the counter done today. You know, shit takes time, especially when you're a noob, when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so the first thing we need is, what did they call it? Last check time. Private float last check time. That's a good. If timekeeper dot minutes is greater than last check time, do this. First, we're going to say debug dot log. Last check time is greater than, no. Timekeeper minutes is greater than last check time. I should probably not be worried about this stuff, but I know if you like, so I know if I just have a bunch of shit in update, you know, 6 months, a year from now, and I'll be like, why is this all grinding? And it will be because of one of these things, and I'll need to figure that out. So we might as well try to avoid these dangers as much as possible ahead of time. Okay, so what does this thing say again? Will this thing have helped me? +5. Last check time equals current time. Let's put it after the debug log, actually. Last check time equals minutes. So what they're saying is +1, huh? Or plus whatever. Is that really what this thing is saying? Why would the +1 be there, though? Oh, I get it. So it's going to be every... Well, okay, and it starts at 0.0. So we want this to start at 0. I mean, it's a float. So this should be like blasting out this debug log thing. Pretty much every, you know, every second, even though we're calling it minutes. And we'll slow this down to see if that is the case. In fact, we should have slowed it down. It's not doing anything. Because army movement hasn't been spawned yet. Okay. Okay, so it's not going to do anything until but now it should be blasting this out at pretty much the same speed. Oh, it stopped. Oh, because it resets. It resets once it gets to a certain... We should slow this down to 1, though, so we can kind of... It resets once it gets to 60. It only went to... I feel like this is oh, I guess I didn't spawn it quick enough. I didn't spawn it quick enough. It took me a couple of. Okay, so that is working how we want, except we want it to go after 60. Why didn't that reset on its own though? Oh, because it never gets in here. So it becomes, minutes resets. Minutes reset. And so they're below last check time. And so you could put another if in here. If check time is greater than or equal to 60, last check time equals 0. Except, well, let's see what it does. I feel like that suddenly we're just making this more complicated than needed. We're still at 1 speed here, so I'm gonna hit this at 10. At 10, 9, 10. Now wow, this is gonna take a while. We want this to count up to 60. We'll speed up the time though. And it should be behind by about 30. Oh, but that's another thing that's not gonna work because it's gonna croak out here in a second. Now. Yeah, okay, so this isn't gonna work. Because you don't know when you're starting this count. You know what I mean? Like the count, we don't know. We're like this would work if we were just running this, and we could do that as a thing. We could just have it run in world load. We could have a number that it's just keeping track of, and we could use that as a check time thing. But I mean, we could do it in Timekeeper as well. How many minutes and I thought about doing this before. How many minutes in a year? 500,000? How big is an int? How big is an int? 2 billion? We can go to a long and just have this number keep counting up. We're also going to need it to count down. So let's put so this I mean this we can use this timekeeper for all sorts of shit. Ticks is a dumb word for what we're using. It's like a multiplier, but whatever. Why did I put a serialized field? Oh, that's so I can adjust it on the fly. Let's do a private long. I don't think I've ever used a long. Private long called counter, called time count forever counter, and we're going to. This will eventually need to be reset, I think. See, the issue is if we just count forever, what's going to happen is we're going to run out of numbers eventually. I mean, I know. So, like the long, how much did we get with the long, whatever this really long number is? I mean, we're in the billions. Probably a long we shouldn't run out if with a long. So somebody in chat or who sees this on YouTube is gonna be screaming in pain. What the fuck are you doing? This actually needs to be public. A public static so that everyone can access this fucking thing. We'll put it at the top though. We don't need seconds anymore. Forever counter. I'm so glad I put this getter setter note in here because I already forgot. I was like, and so then down here, forever counter. Oh, it's a different thing. How do we do that? What is this? A float? Float too long. Wait, how big is a float? How big is a float? It's probably pretty big. I don't know what that is. 38? I think a float will do just fine. A float will do just fine. I was talking to my mom about how I don't remember any geometry, and she was saying the same thing that like, and I was saying I have to like look up everything online what it is. You know, and it's been a steady decline after high school. You know, like a steady, very steady decline in my math skills. But I do remember this thing. I do remember exponential. I don't remember the words. All right. Plus or equal. Yes. So, all right. So the forever counter is going to. No. Absolutely not. That's wrong. We'll just do this. Um, it depends on if we run out of numbers. Okay, so we have a forever counter that's a public static float. So if we go back to here and we say forever counter is, if it's greater than that, we last check though starts at 0. We actually need it to start. This isn't going to work either because we need last check. It's always going to start. Actually, it doesn't matter. Actually, this will work because it's going to, if we put this as forever counter, we don't need this shit. Let's try this. So I think, so the first time, let's say we hit start and we're 10 minutes in, it's going to be like, yeah, you got to do this. And then this is going to reset. But it should count forever, and we can speed this shit up. We'll leave it at 1, but we can speed it up with the in-game time here. I'm gonna finish this fucking timer today. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I want to finish this fucking timer today. Okay, so we hit create army. This thing should be, yeah, 1, 2, you know, it's going. Actually, let's wait for a couple of seconds here. Let's hit play. When I say seconds, I mean in-game terminology, minutes. We got our speed at 1. Let's put this like at a ×4. Let's select a different one. Hit create army. Now let's go to ×8 and just wait to see if it ever breaks. Well, let's wait. We'll wait until it gets to like, you know, 200 or something. Okay, so what happens if we destroy? Can I destroy this in game? All right, and it stops. So let's create another one. And it comes back. I think that's a way to slow down the number of checks. I feel like checking every update is bad, or using update is bad. And once again, if you're in the comments or whatever, or don't or give a shit, just tell me there's a better way to do this and tell me how to do it. Okay, so I think that's we want it to check every minute. So that's what it's doing. Minutes, which is the one in the if statement. Okay, so this is gonna not do it every fucking frame though. So now we have the army timer works. We have it working in two different armies, and so that should work with more than two, and we can change that in a minute or later. But we want this to actually count down. We don't want it to count up. We want it to count down. Because well, let's think. So we're gonna say it takes 2 days to get from Portland. Let's go back to our little fake map here to get from the Portland County to Cowlitz. Portland County to Cowlitz. Let's say it takes 2 days to get there. We can have it count up. We're gonna have to do some interesting math because of time. We'll hard code it in right now. That will change depending on the distance, but let's say we want it to, let's say 5 hours for now. I guess we don't have to have it count down. We kind of want it to count down though, so that they know. So in CK3, it's counting up to the date. You know, when you right click on your guy and it shows him animated standing there walking, or, you know, fake walking, and you hover over him, it shows it's count like the date when it gets there. So we could do it that we could count up. That's that. Let's make it count up to that, and we'll put in some text in here. This should be. We'll put in time till arrival. Let's see how that looks. I just want this isn't going to show the right time. We're going to add in. No, not time till arrival. Dates arriving. I just want to make sure this text looks right. What happened? Oh, we broke something. What did we break? What did we break? Oh, we took the army timer out of here just for our test. Uh, Wait, did we? We did. We were just looking at the debug log. God, this is such a good song. Once again, I wish you guys could hear this. The Damned. I've been listening to so much of The Damned lately. I can't see it. It's too small. Oh, it's like it moves around a little bit. Why is that so fucking ugly, though? Let's maximize this shit. I'm not gonna have time to get to the next thing. Can't see that at all. Time till arrival. Uh, I guess it doesn't really matter what we're putting in there yet. I feel like it should count down though. Well, what's the easier? We'll do the easier thing first. Time till arrival. What doesn't matter what the fuck that says. So let's say it takes. Let's say it's gonna take 2 hours to get there, and then we'll just put a variable up here temporarily. Private int hours till arrival, and that will equal 2. And you know what we'll also do over here is we'll change this up to 10 again, so this isn't quite so brutally slow. And I'm just doing that so I don't forget. Hours gets reset after 24 though, so we're gonna have to put in some like logic in here of if we put in if it's over, we could actually put that in. I kind of want them to use these local hours and local minutes. I think that's going to be. Do they need to be public? I don't think we need this to. We can make this back to private, can't we? We're not. We're no longer going that route. I don't think this needs to be public at all. This can just be private, as long as you spell it right. I mean, we don't need to make this perfect right now. I keep saying that. Uh, we're just trying to get the basics going here. And I think at this though, underneath this debug log, we'll say local minutes equals this thing. And then we'll put local minutes in here. And then we'll put this hours. I'll change this to local hours. Okay, so that shouldn't affect anything that we're currently, it should basically be the same thing. Uh, We need two different things in here. We need two different things in here. We need time till arrival. Can I do a new line in here? Plus, what is it, this? Plus current time. Which is going to be this thing. Comma, let's put this whole thing down another line here. Comma. There was something I was gonna clean up too. Oh, I gotta do that. So once this is working, basically, local hours equals this. Local hours equals local hours plus hours till arrival. All right. And then after this, I think so. I just thought it. So what we'd want to do is we want it to stop. So if this, we want this, can we disable this army movement? That'd be interesting. We'll just, and all right, we'll do this. If local hours equals, oh wait, every time it runs, it's gonna update this. We do something stupid like this as a bool. Um, it defaults to, I guess you could put it up now. Oh, now it's getting more and more complicated. Of course it is. I was gonna try to like do something real quick. All right, we'll finish this part because we still have a little bit of cleanup to do here. I'm gonna put below here will need to be what happens when the local hours equals the current time. And this isn't going to work though. Actually, that thing is. So this is like half done. Because, and this isn't going to work because it's going to get updated. This is going to get updated every time. And I just wanted to. I guess we should fix this before I hate like half finished shit. So every time it runs, the local hour. So first off, it basically needs to take a snapshot. The first time it runs, The army timer. The first time it runs the army timer, it needs to take us. Well, you know what? We should double check here. Let's see what happens with this. Well, that's not going to work because we don't have it. All right, the first time it runs, it needs to take the time. Needs to take a snap of the time. So we need some sort of bool up here that only does it once, though. It's going to come out as it defaults to false. So not first run. And then will you say if not first run is equal to false, which makes it the first run. What's your problem? Use of unassigned. Oh, do you? Well, no, I can't assign it something. If I assign it false, every time it runs, it will become false. What the fuck is your problem? Do you have any suggestions for me? Use of unassigned. Maybe I have to have it up here. I feel like this is a mistake, though. If not first run, so if it is the first run, which we want it to do local minutes equals this, and we're going to use this in a second too. Local hours equals this plus hours till arrival. This is just like I'm going to put a note here. This is a temp amount of hours. Eventually, this will be updated depending on the distance to destination. Not first run equals true. Okay, let's see what this does. I have a feeling this is all fucked up. What is this for? Okay, so the first time it's gonna change, it's gonna set that. All right, let's see what happens. They should add 2 hours onto the timer, even though it's really hard to see. Oh, I can't read that. Let's make this a bigger text box. I can't read that text box. Open. Let's make this a giant text box just temporarily. I think my canvas needed to be bigger. Yeah, I'm fucking everything up. All right, go back to what you had. Let's clusterfuck. Go back to your canvas here. Let's make this canvas like massive, just so we can read this right now. We'll deal with like readability when we're actually like running the game here, because we'll be able to zoom. We're gonna change how the camera works. Maybe we'll have to do that next. So um, that looks massive in this bit, but what do we got? Position 0, 0. No. 3. This is all changed. We'll do 20 by 5. And then we'll go to here and we'll make this 20 by 5. Nope, I hit some weird. What did I hit? By 5. I was trying to save it. And now this should. As we turn it on. I want to get one item checked off my list today. Since we were struggling. I'm struggling. We are struggling. I'm struggling. We didn't tell it to do anything. It just popped that out. Um, oh, it's only going to update it once, whatever. Oh, did I not save this? No, I did. We just saw it saved. I don't need this to be, uh, did I turn it on was the issue? It shouldn't turn that on until I click on it. Oh, it's because, we're still gonna have to have like an if statement here to say like, hey, turn this on. Jesus Christ. All right, let's update our bug log here and we'll fix it next time. Army timer. Edits. No. This is about half done. It just needs some tweaking to work. So the timer would work, but we still have to check every maybe this on with a getter setter in timekeeper. Maybe it's not that big of a deal to have a bool like that you check. I don't know. Okay, let's update this thing. We're not finishing that today. We got more and more hours to do. It everything is much more difficult than I'd think. You know, it's just part of life. But what we are going to do is fix this thing. I wanted to fix this real quick. And I have this on my list: move array to erase file and clean up code. We already cleaned up the code. So we can. I figured I updated my other game to use an array, and I'm so glad that those guys taught me how to use an array because I was, so incompetent before. But we're gonna actually do this real quick. We're gonna go to scripts, public classes. I'm gonna start a new script called arrays. And I don't think this needs to be attached to anything. Did I attach it to anything? Maybe I did. I think I did. Let's attach this to... And the issue we were having last time when I was trying to make it a static or a public array or whatever is I don't. It has to be in a mono behavior, and I didn't know that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get rid of this, and I was trying to stick it in with the public classes, or with the class, the all text thing, and you can't do that. So let's go back here. We're gonna cut this shit. And everything's gonna break. That's okay. And public, static, and now we should just be able to put arrays dot bam. Seeing if that was faster. So we should, yeah, we should just be able to do this. Oh, that's it. Man, there was like, they helped me. There was so much more code to this, and we cut it all down to. You know, I could even initialize this and this over there too. So the reason I do this is because I like to have a single spot when I'm going through and looking for names and texts and shit. And sadly, we can't do the text in here, but we might actually. So I wish I had that other thing open, but I have like a bunch of text, and I think what we'll do, text is what I'm saying. I think what we'll do with all of the text is put it into an array instead of physically, manually putting in like, you know, error bug 1, bug 2, you know, error 1, error 2, error 3. What we'll do is we'll just have an array and put it like this. And then also, I think what we could do is, because I think this will help too when we go for localization of putting, whatchamacallit, putting the different languages in. But I think that's so. I think that is all we needed to do for this cleanup thing, because we cleaned up the other code when I encountered it. So let's go back to this guy and put it over here. We actually accomplished one thing today. It's okay. I should have done more baby steps. I'm a big fan of like the ultimate baby steps, so that I can feel like I really accomplished something. There we go. Army movement is still. This is probably. If you right click on a province, yeah, that's so. These are all still issues, but this is all not done. But we'll get it done. It's just gonna take time. All right, so let's do that. Let's close Unity, and I'll push the code to the Army movement branch. I always close Unity first before I push, because things change when you do that. But yeah, this is it's gonna take time, you know. I'm new. I'm sure, like I always keep saying, a professional probably would have this done in 30 minutes, 10 minutes. They would have had this done in 10 minutes, but that's okay. Half finished with, and maybe I'm overcomplicating myself. You know, if we had just kept it with that bool checking every frame, I mean, we can put the bool in there as well. I finish with army timer. Once the army timer's done, we can do we'll commit this shit. Once the army timer's done, then we actually do the movement. The movement part should be easy. I keep saying that because it's just, the timer's done, it moves. But we also have to say, like, so let's say you start the timer, we also have to, let's say you right click on a different province. The timer needs to restart. If you right click on your same province, the start timer needs to completely go away. So we have like a lot of like basic stuff to do. But once like I keep saying, we're gonna baby step our way through each little part. So we're gonna go, like if we look, oh, I closed it. If we, first is where you got army movement, then we're gonna do province improvement, which I have over here. Whoops, we don't need Notepad open. Oh, this is done. We accomplished two things. This is fixed now that whatever. We don't need. We didn't just close the issue. Uh, see, look at that. We got two things done. It's really the same thing. Combat should be pretty simple. We'll have to AI army creation. This needs to be above this. Oops. Whoops. So we'll like have the basics where it's just gonna like generate, and we'll just have like a random battle. We'll have the combat, like each one of these will be a little step. And so each little baby step that we do, we've been stuck on Army Mint for a while, but that's okay. Each little step, once we have the whole game working with like each little step, so the armies can be created by the AI. We can have a basic combat where they just like, and then it's done. County improvements, what I mean by that is like if you can click on it and build a farm there, or build a mine or whatever. Espionage, diplomacy should probably be in here too. We'll put that on there. Diplomacy. We'll convert this to an issue. And then we'll do like some bug fixes and stuff. Feedback. I kind of want to do this Zoom sooner. We'll update it to there. Day-night cycle, seasons, province and county outlines, like there, multiple pathfinding. So we'll baby step our way, and I know I say this explain what I'm doing every time I stream, but we'll baby step our way through each part, and then we'll start adding in details. And instead of just like the county improvement of it just being like, we'll change this. Like we'll edit this and we'll say farm. We'll put it actually in here. Oh, I already have it in here. Farm or okay, I already did that. We'll just have like one farm that you can select and you can click on to build, and then you'll go to the next thing. And so once we get every little piece done, then we'll expand like how it works, and we'll keep expanding slowly because we're gonna be learning as we go. And from my past experiences, what happens is I learn something new and I have to go back and rewrite like half my code. So we're gonna baby step it to each thing, and then once each thing is done, we're gonna baby step the next. We'll do like farms first, then we'll do mining, and then we'll we haven't even put in any resources needed to be added in here. Resources such as gold, food, scrap is one of the ideas I have because it's post-apocalyptic. Mana, etc. Like we don't have any resources at all. We need to convert this. Put that probably before the movement, the improvement. We just need one though to start with. So let's this. We just need gold and food. And food. I'm a big save all the time. Actually, to start. All right, so that is it for me. So we're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna keep just going like baby steps each part, and then as we get like this, when this one's taking a long time, AI army creation might take a long time too. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out how to AI army creation, and then like after we do all this, we're gonna have to figure out AI movements. And that will probably take a long time. But once we get, I'm learning new things, and hopefully other people are too. Once again, this isn't a tutorial. This is just like a group effort. The group being me and whoever else wants to join in. So that's it for me. I just keep rambling on here. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.